Hey guys, it's Ebony of R&B Vibes, and we are right here with someone that I just told him my soul is together. It's put in the right position because of him. Felix Ames, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, look, we're all trying. We're all trying.
Are we? Because I feel like with you, I have succeeded. I have now made it to where I needed to go in life because of your music.
That's wild. You doing better than me. I'm just over here. I'm glad it got you together. I'm over here trying.
Well, it's just real because your music, you really have this whole thing together when it comes to connecting with your soul. I don't know what was it that allowed you to say I got to get back with myself. With my music, I want to be able to center myself and center the people that are listening to my music.
I think it's like I think about like me as a child. I was just always listening to my favorite song over and over and over. And I think over time it grew. Then I started singing when I was like 3. I would just kind of how I would exist. Uh, and it was like my self-soothing. That was my
Mm,
time to calm myself um and then eventually became to calm myself and make sense of the world and myself and everything I've been through. So it's just kind of like it's evolved consistently since I was 3 to be this now. It's my existence to heal and translate the weight of the world through the music. And that's a blessing too. Like it heals me first before y'all. So that's like, when I see the reception of the music, I'm always surprised. I'm like, I just knew that I liked it. That's all
yeah.
I can control. So
So who were you listening to at 3 for you to be this, I don't know, deep old soul type of person? Who were you listening to back in the day?
my dad played a lot of Motown. He played a lot of like Nora Jones.
Mm.
We listened to this blues band called the Mighty Blue Kings from
Y-
Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was always on, and that was always my connection. My family, we had this one CD that was Come One, Come All, it was called by the Mighty Blue Kings. It's like
Mhm.
very low key blues band in Chicago, and that was like we had this one CD in the boombox for 8 years. Just running it. That was what filled up the
Yeah.
house. So I don't know. It's interesting. I've just kind of found myself here, but I definitely had a lot of very soulful music in the crib very young, where I was
Yeah, it
like,
sounds
that's
like
something there,
it just seems like this was going to happen regardless. Regardless of you knew it or not, you was going to come out to be this old soul type of person.
And then we went to church. There was we did a lot in my childhood, but I had a brief period where one of my mom's boyfriends was the keys player in this church where they had the 4 hour like jam session style church service on
Oh,
Sundays.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they wwould rehearse in our basement, and then we would go to the service on Sunday. So I was like the first real moment where I was like, oh, this is. And he
This
was
is it.
self-taught and like improv. It was all improvisational. I was like, oh, this is different because no one in my family makes music or does anything creative. So I didn't really have exposure like that.
Oh, wow. So that was your first knowing that this is how this works. This is the essence. This is how music can really change and also vibe out with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it changes how you feel directly, and that's what when I in the church, I was like, man, it was so powerful, and it was just these guys jamming, and it felt so natural to them, and I was like, it's something there that I don't understand. I'm trying to figure it out,
So
you
was it
know.
a shock to your family that she was going to go into music, or were they like this sounds right?
No, it makes sense. I've been my family used to have to sleep with earplugs, so I wake up in the morning singing. I would get in
Mhm.
trouble in class in high school for singing in class. I just would. It's just so second nature. So they weren't surprised, and I've also always just been a big people person, and it kind of fits my personality to do this. So um, no one was surprised, and then I dropped out of college to do it. So they've just been like, "Do your thing."
Oh, that's different. Dropping out of college for music. A lot of parents would say, let me go ahead and run your neck real quick. So how
Yeah, it was a very specific situation. Like I was succeeding in college. I was just deciding to do something else. It's not like I was like I flunked out and I was like, damn, I don't have anything to do
Yeah.
now. Let me I was like really taking it serious and understood what it meant to, or as much as I could, understood what it meant to actually treat it as a job.
Well, tell me about crafting music and creating it in your mom's basement and how that feeling was when you first started into your music, seeing, understanding who you were as an artist. How was that?
You know, I had been making music for some time before that, and then I reached a point where I was like trying to decide if I wanted to continue because I just knew it was going to take some more years to build something that mattered, and I had to choose it again essentially. So I did. I had just moved back into my mom's basement. I was like, man, what am I doing? I was driving for Amazon, delivering packages, and I was just like, I looked at my paycheck. I'm like, this ain't enough bread to be taking this much energy. So quit that, and I was just like, I'm gonna hold it down and start. I'm gonna just start dedicating myself again. Because I think being an artist is more so just spending time with your craft. Because I can't control if I make, you know, the next Human Nature by Michael Jackson, or if I make something that no one wants to ever hear, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
either way, I'm just showing up doing the same thing, treating it the same. But being in my mom's basement, it was I think metaphorically I'm still there because everything I'm making is it's detached. It's like I'm participating in the world, I'm participating in culture, but I'm not considering what how people are going to think about this or this. I'm not doing anything for a reaction. You know, it's
Hmm.
completely isolated from perception, which is that started there because I was like, no, nobody was hearing it besides like my one homie who would pull up to smoke at the crib. Like I was just like making music, and me and my guy Calvin, he was sending me beats, and I was just going in. So it's this whole thing started very humble and took a lot of time before anybody cared. So I'm just like grateful to be here and to be able to still be doing this at the level I am. I'm just
It's a
grateful.
blessing. Yeah, it's definitely humble beginnings. And I'm curious, was there some kind of, I don't know, song or quote or something that kept you going? Because a lot of artists, especially independent ones, just starting out, whatever case, you get a little discouraged. You allow yourself to really have these self doubts that make you think, I can't do this. So, how do you progress? How do you say to yourself, I got this? What would you telling yourself?
Man, I think it was my relationship with God and my faith. Like you have to have so much faith to choose this career and then to commit to it. It's a long. I've been doing this for like 9 years now, like only focused on this. And I think faith and then still being like a child with it. Like I still
Mm,
after I made the last record, I was like, I'm throwing out that way of creating. What's the next one? And I'm finishing the next record actually over the next couple weeks, and I'm just like, I'm just enjoying myself like a kid, hanging out with my friends, like trying to be as honest as possible. And it's a way of existing where if I exist truly, and I'm interacting with the world and in tune with God,
yeah.
I don't have to go, I don't have to force anything. I don't have to force any business situation. I don't have to grieve a business situation because everything happens how it's supposed to. And if I'm in the
Amen.
right place, living the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
way, I mean, I'm convinced. Like, I think there's no chance that things don't work out how, at least a version of how I see them in my head in the future. But I'm humbled by it. And also, like, I know the work I need to put in to be able to build a sustainable life when I'm at that point, too.
See, this is why I say you got my soul together. I just now I feel like I can go and conquer the world. Like, yes, I can climb Mount Everest. I can do all things because you just
Oh, you
told
really
me,
can.
yeah, if you just try, if you just put yourself out there and try anything, it's possible. But and you don't have to get discouraged. Of course, those dark days are gonna come, but don't allow it to take over you, right?
Yeah, you don't have to force anything. Don't go outside of yourself. I see people all the time. Uh, I feel like they're cosplaying an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I mean, you can tell when somebody's not being authentic. But all of my favorite people and artists in general across every discipline are people who you meet in person and they're just themselves at all times.
Mm.
You don't have to pretend to be anything. I don't have to walk in a room with an ego because attention isn't doesn't play a role in why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Attention and praise don't really have a role. And I get mad uncomfortable kind of or sometimes when people are praising me or whatever. I'm like, I'm just
You're
a
uncomfortable.
guy
Oh,
doing this. I
yeah.
just be like, I don't really know how to, because man, this is just what I do, and
Yeah.
I've been making sense of uh, the positive reviews or whatever, the acclaim and people liking the music. I think for me, I just like it's so simplified. Like if the music helps people and it's a positive thing in general, like I'm happy and I'm gonna keep going.
I get it, but to me, I'm just like, I mean, first off, it's hard to get feedback from your own craft because you're just like, this is what I do. This is my job. This is my life. This is what I got. But it's like, please receive it because Yeah, like I said, like it's not just the way that you sing, right? Because you have a beautiful voice, right? It's the words behind it. I mean, you're coming out. Like, I wrote some down. Everyone needs someone, excuse me, for one of your songs. That's from what's it called, Clear as Day, Dark as Night, Dark at Night, and then you
Mm.
have, this is my favorite line for one of your songs. Just leave it to me to make sure I'm misunderstood. Just leave it to me to use those feelings to run and get revenge instead of letting go and letting love in. That right there is just
Oh, I
you.
snapped.
You did. Like I said that. I said
Oh.
letting love in because I do that. I want revenge. Okay, bump all of it. But it's such a it's such a healing way to, so when somebody tells you you're great, it's real. It's the way that you put the
Thank you.
words together, the way that you sing the songs. It's like, man, can I just grow up and be like you? And can I just do that? I just want to be like you when I grow up. That's what I want to do.
Hey,
Yeah,
look, pull
that's
up to the camp, man. Pull up and
man.
write with us. Yeah,
But no,
it's
it's
interesting. It's like, I never really considered myself a poet or a writer at all. Like in school, I was always arguing with teachers about my essays, arguing why I was right, but I didn't do it their way, so it was an issue. That
yeah,
was the kind of student I was, and I was never like, I didn't really journal growing up. I was just kind of like out here. But I think the reason that I feel like I have the upper hand and like my phrasing and writing is because I really care about and I'm curious about people. And I have
yeah,
so many good conversations every week with my homies, my family, my sister, my girl. Um, and I feel like the way what you have in your brain is a result of the conversations you have and the company you keep. So if people, I mean, if you got writer's block, you need better friends. You probably just need a
mm,
vacation. Don't think about it. Go watch some movies and I feel like there's just the culture of just like squeezing every ounce of creativity out of ourselves.
yeah.
Uh it's good for everybody but the artist, And I want to be healthy, and be able to live my life and feel good every day. And I know I just gotta create at my own. Like I made 3 songs the other day for the first time in years, and I was like, man, I just said a prayer, went home,
Mm.
ate some food, opened my laptop, watched the show, and went to sleep. I'm not like I'm just right here. And then there's days where I don't make anything. I'm just maybe I just chill with a friend and went for a walk, went and got food with my girl or cooked with her. Like it's just every day is different, and
Yeah.
I used to burn out, be on a cycle of burnout. So I'm just like, man, if you can just live life and create and do that honestly, that's how I feel like I've set myself up to be able to have material to pull from.
There's a balance, and of course there's happiness. As long as you find your happiness, find your peace, and you can create, you can go, you can keep pushing, and don't allow other negativity, other people's mindsets, whether it bad or whatever, to deter you from anything. Just keep going,
Yeah, and
man.
I used to be hella depressed. Like a lot of my best songs I made when I was like down horrifically. And now
Mm,
I'm in a place where, I've learned how to take better care of myself. Life has stabilized a little bit and my mental health has been good. And it's just like it's a superpower. I'm used to doing this with like, if I'm running a marathon, like I'm used to having a rope and a big ass boulder behind me. You feel me? That I
yeah,
had to
yeah, yeah,
keep pulling. And now I just feel like
yeah.
I got the muscles and shit from pulling the boulder, but it's not there anymore. So I'm just like, wow, I can slow down a little bit and just kind of do a little light jog here. That's cool.
It's good to do a light
Yeah,
jog. Now, were you doing a light jog when you was creating what's it called? I have Cruel World. Were you doing a light jog or was that the heavy pull of the
that was heavy
boulder?
pull.
Okay.
That was heavy pull.
Okay.
It was, and there's songs from a couple years ago. There's some that
Yeah.
I made like 3 weeks before where you submitted the album. Uh, but I feel like one of the biggest things I've learned is just to be open to chance and getting lucky. Uh, and if I just show up day to day, week to week, I'm gonna get lucky at some point. And I feel like I was just hitting the drawing board. Like I'm gonna put this album together. Boom. I was like, what does it need? Then it just started coming together, and I was like, wow. Then I had the idea for the cover art, and I'm like, wow. It
Yeah, it's
really you
very old school with the jazz type of the saxophone men. I love that.
thank you. I've been trying to give I guess I used to only think about the music and not the presentation and the context. And I've been trying to be intentional, or at least sort of. I've been trying to get better at giving people context for my music, because it makes a big difference. If because it's like, how do I make it as if I'm going around having a minute long conversation, being like, okay, this is kind of what it is. This is who I am. This is. And I feel
Yeah.
like you got to kind of do that through the cover art and how you present yourself. So that's something I've been working
Hmm.
on.
Well, can I actually go back a little bit and ask you about the because your last album, and I could be wrong with this last one, but your debut one, Jenna, right?
Yeah,
What is up with the logo, the tattoo logo? What is this?
yeah. That's my logo. That's my logo. So how it came to be is I was just sitting with this creative director we had hired, and I wanted to do like a branding pack. Um, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I was like, I wanted to feel like a lava lamp, but also feel like uh humanity as a whole. And this guy's like, what are you talking about? But he drew it up, and it's like it's an F, but it's also like a man. If for some reason it just clicked for me. I sat with that for 2 weeks. I was like, this it unlocked something for me. I started making tees and hoodies and giving them to my homies. I'm like, this is what we ride for, and
Yeah.
eventually I'm gonna do like team chains. Like I'm just like it's camaraderie and like company culture. When you can stamp a logo and it feels good and authentic and um yeah, I love that logo. I'm gonna ride for that logo. I'm about to it's about to be I'm putting it on everything.
No, I love the logo. To me, it was like it's a puzzle piece. It's this is the missing piece, and of course, as us that circle part is trying to find ourselves. How do we fit into this piece? That's kind of where I took it. Maybe I'm going a little too deep with it,
No, I like that though. I like
but
it.
that's the vibe I got from it. So as us as listeners of your music, we're just trying to find the puzzle piece to the matching piece to what we're doing, and I think that right there is it's something that we all need. It allows you to understand this music is going to help find you, help find that piece that you're missing, and I think we all need that.
I like that. And I think the guy too, he's not like going forward or going anywhere. He's like in place. And I think there's some poetic about that. Like we don't most of our growth happens within ourselves. It's not running to go there or there or trying to be a part of that friend group or be cool to these people.
Yeah.
And like especially in the music industry, I mean it's like high school again. And I don't know. I think it's a beautiful thing when you can make a conscious choice to just be yourself and love your friends and the people who love you back and show up for you
Yeah.
and like kind of leave it at that. I'm open to meeting new people and just kind of like I can move freely because I know I have that base.
This industry is like high school. It's crazy that you said that. I said that earlier this week to someone because of something I'm kind of looking and noticing in the industry right now, and it's like how do you stay true to you? How do you stay connected to who you are and not lose your self values while you are maneuvering in an atmosphere where it is like high school, where it is like it's uncomfortable and it allows you to kind of doubt yourself, all that. That's why I ask those questions because all of us, we have to say, we have to find something that keeps us grounded. And for you, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your girl, it's the people that you connect yourself with. And I think that we as a society forget the importance of the people around us. That really can change and change our mindset, change how we move. So we have to be mindful of that. And of course, the music that we listen to. So you gotta listen to Felix.
You got to listen. You got to. Yeah, I think for me, I just make my life. I've made sure my life just stays super normal. Like I just do regular shit with my friends and my girl and make music with my homies and travel and like I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I don't think I'm what I'm saying. I don't know. I just know like I'm just a guy from Wisconsin that started doing this and didn't stop. Like I do think I have a gift and certain things have lined up in my personality or whatever, but I just like I got to keep this shit regular because one day I'm gonna have kids and a family, and I got to
Hmm.
be able to make it regular for them.
By the way, you need to put that on a t-shirt. I'm just a guy that do regular shit, and make music with my
Yeah, right.
homies. That needs to be a full t-shirt. You can make some money off of that.
Quick little 100 run, being.
Just a little bit, just a little, a little band, 100 band.
You
We all
feel
need
me?
that.
Quick little lick.
Well, I mean, I have not told you already. I'm definitely a fan, and I thank you for your music. I know that not just "Cruel Cruel World" the album, but also the single is really great. But guys, I also have to mention "Hey Pastor" that you did with featuring Coda the Friend. Were you caught? Were you literally like going through something at that time when you wrote that? Is this our letter to God?
Yeah, it's kind of twofold because
Okay.
I, I I went to church in little windows growing up, but like never really had a relationship with God. And that happened when I was in college. I was like 21, and I came to that, and it was because there was this pastor that came to speak at this meeting we had for some organization I was in, and I was like, this guy understands something. And he was a pastor at this church that was on campus, so I just started pulling up, and this guy has so much wisdom, and so there's layers to it. I'm reaching out to a human that is in a way speaking on behalf of God, but it's also like talking to God. You're talking to God through somebody who is uh like he's done the studying and is more knowledgeable. So
Mm.
that's like an interesting. I don't know. When I write songs, I'm basically just trying to make it interesting and complex in a way that I feel like is rich.
I see
But
what you
yeah,
mean.
but I was going through it, and I think dealing with some shit that was like, I don't know. We continue to go through new experiences, and whether good or bad, like we're not prepared to go through them. So I think
Hmm.
that's another thing with faith. Like I need help just on the basic level, and that song was leaning into that and feelings of guilt. That like, what do you do with all you can do is process them. Otherwise, they just sit. Guilt would just like sit in your chest if you don't take accountability and like unravel it. You know.
Well, I think that, like I said, "Hey Pastor" is one of my favorite songs, and I feel like if anything, when it comes to your music, you're definitely going to get a better perception of self and of the life that you're living because it's "Hey Pastor" is definitely that one that makes you sit there and say, man, that's a call to action for me to get help. It's a call to action for me to be honest about what's going on with myself. And it's also a moment for me to say it's okay for me to want help. So, Felix, what's next for you? I mean, at this point, are we doing a support group with our listeners and say, hey guys, check in with me if you need a prayer? How do like what's
I'm
going
gonna do a
on?
hotline at some point. I'm gonna do like
Can
some
you?
advice hotline. I probably would be a therapist if I wasn't a musician. I think that's oddly enough. Uh,
Mm,
but I would like to do some type of hotline where I can just like give some advice and just
yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. But what's next for me? I'm uh working on the third album right now. Actually, I flew to LA like the week after the album came out to start finishing this album, but I'm just be releasing hella music. I create every day and I'm just in a good space. My mental health is good. I'm like, I'm just on to the next thing and trying to keep I feel like I got like a 100 foot by 100 foot canvas and I've just started like making splashes on it. So I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
trying to build it out.
I'm curious what the direction is going to be because, of course, with Jenna, you gave us your roots like from your I think your grandfather talking about how much it meant for you and where your family was as, of course, being from slaves all the way to where y'all are now or where y'all was in Milwaukee, and then of course, Cruel Cruel World. That's giving you a better sense of self, a direction, therapy, making sure that you're whole with one. I'm curious what's going to be next. How are you going to go off of that? So you got me as a fan and probably as a client. So when you start that hotline, I will be the first number popping up saying, "Let me tell you my problems today. Let's
Listen,
go
hey,
these
I'm
issues."
gonna be there. Let's sift through them. Let's sit down. Let's talk about
And you'll be
it.
like, "This chick is crazy."
Be like, actually, like, no, you might actually need a professional. I don't know if I can.
Like it's okay to admit that you need help, but sometimes you need help.
You need help,
Um,
help. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
but
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for you to see how things unfold. It's just the next layer of healing.
Okay. Well, tell them how they can connect with you. How can listeners find you on social media? All of that.
Yeah, definitely go listen to Crew Crew World, the
Mm-hmm.
album that just came out. Felix Ames everywhere. And yeah, I'm gonna be out here being annoying for probably the next like 10 to 15 years. So
And I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait
be
to
over
see.
here.
Oh, that's gonna it's gonna be good, and I'm excited, y'all. We're gonna play all of his music because as I'm doing, I did my research. Every time I do an interview, I do my research of the artist, and I'm like, I want this song on the air, I want this song on the air, I want this song on the air, like all your music
Yeah.
here. So y'all go ahead and get ready because Felix Ames is coming at you, and he's gonna give you all the healing, the soulful love, and all the nourishment that you need in order for you to feel at whole. So, Felix, I thank
Amen.
you so much. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Yep, yep. And that's R&B Vibes with Epine right here on 92Q.